Hello, and welcome to the BFA Baby podcast. I'm your host, Taylor Hartman, and you may notice that this episode looks a little different. We are sitting at my kitchen table for the podcast today, and we are talking about things that I'm thankful for in dance. As I'm filming this, it is the week of Thanksgiving, but I believe this is going up the week after Thanksgiving. So it's a little late on time for me, but a little late for you guys. But that's okay, we can still be thankful and grateful. This episode and the next one that I am filming will be sat in my apartment as I'm filming these before I leave for break. And the studio is closed, so I will be in the apartment. Welcome to my dinner table. I thought it was only fitting for the Thanksgiving episode to eat. So during the podcast, I will be eating some orange chicken. I like to say partially homemade orange chicken. I just get frozen chicken and I make the sauce. So yeah, we're gonna snack, we're gonna drink what's left of this sparkling grape juice. We're gonna talk about things we're thankful for. Let me get a bite in real quick. We're talking about things we're thankful for. But first, I'd like to start off with talking about the dance concert that I was just in. We just wrapped the Missouri State University Fall Dance Concert 2023. If you're on YouTube, I'm wearing this shirt. This is Ellipsis. And this shirt was designed by the lovely Josephine Hale. Shout out Josephine if you're listening. Yeah, we just wrapped Fall Dance Concert and it was really exciting. I was in a tap piece and a house piece, which I've talked about before on the podcast, but I will insert, if you're watching on YouTube, I'll insert some photos from the night. The professional photos that you see were taken by Arden Dickinson. I will put their Instagram down below. Yeah, I just kind of want to talk about the show. It was a really good time. There was a lot of, creative expression and experience. A lot of learning, creative learning, which was really good. I talked about it on my Instagram. Really big creative challenges. I'm moving and dancing in ways I never thought that I could, with the house dance. And a lot of good times. The audience was really receptive to it all, which was super exciting. At the end of house party, we grabbed people on stage and got them dancing with us. It was so much fun. And even my parents got up on stage, which was huge. And they danced with us. So the audience was really receptive. We had this really good thing with feedback, in which at the end of every dance, this AI voice played over the all call and was he had an accent, you are now welcome to offer one-word responses to the piece that you just watched, popcorn style. And you could shout out a word, and I think initially the audience didn't really know what to do with that, but then Brittany, our director, would practice with them at the beginning, and I think once they eased into the fact that okay, this is not a normal sit there and be quiet dance concert, then they were really attentive and ready to give a response, which is good. And I liked having that feedback, that immediate initial feedback. And there were definitely some pieces that were, very artistic. And I think a lot of the audience sometimes didn't really know what to think about all that. So being able to hear and see their initial responses was kind of wild. But we got a lot of good feedback. There were talkbacks on stage with the choreographers. We got to get some feedback on the dances from the audience directly. It was an interactive, experimental show. And I think that both the creative team and the audience really benefited from that. Everyone felt very connected, whereas during a traditional show, a lot of the times it's you're here to see a show, we're here to do a show for you, and no one's really going to communicate about it. But there was a direct line of communication for this one, which I think was new and exciting for everyone involved. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say about fall dance. So let's get into the main meat and potatoes of the episode. I'm gonna eat another piece of chicken real quick. So let's talk about some things that I'm thankful for in dance, because obviously I do want to use this podcast to shed light on the things that can change, but this is a week of giving thanks, and there are so many amazing things to love about dancing and, you know, BFAs and everything, but of course I'm a BFA dance major, so there's so many things to love about it, so I wanted to shine some light on the positives today. So the first thing that I want to talk about is so silly, but it's pretty costumes. I love getting into costume, getting into hair and makeup, and also some pictures of our tap costume. Our tap costume for fall dance concert. It was so Woodland Fairy Princess. It was amazing. We had these huge skirts that twirled, and like everything about it was just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And like, it's just costumes that make me feel beautiful and confident and amazing. And it's so superficial, but like it's not, because costumes are such a big deal in performance, not even just dance, but in theater, even in like movies, just in entertainment in general. Costumes can be really helpful to not only immersing the audience in the world of the show, but immersing the performer in the world of the show. And I feel like every time I put on my tap costume, I was like in it, I was ready, I was feeling the vibes. And then on the other side of the coin, every time I put on my house costume, those ripped jeans, and I put the rhinestones in my hair and the tank top, like I was ready to party. Like that shift was really critical to me being able to do such two such drastically different pieces in the same night and day. We had a matinee that day as well. And the ability to, you know, they're so different. And the costume, I think, really got me in the headspace for that. While we're talking about this, a lot of performers that I know and I follow and I go to school with and whatever, a lot of them use perfume to like get into character. Like if they're playing one character in a show, you know, they'll find a perfume that they think that their character would wear, and then they'll only wear it when they're about to go on stage or like get into a scene or something. And I think that's really interesting. And as someone who is trying to get into perfume, like actual perfume, not just like Bath and Body Works body mist, you know what I mean? I do think it's kind of interesting to that's something I would be interested in trying next time I'm like in a show with like a only one character, only one dance, solid role type thing. That's something I'd be really interested in trying, so might have to look into that. But yeah, I have heard of some people doing that, but for me, a lot of the times, the costumes kind of put me there. They're that final push, final step into the world of the dance or the world of the show. And yeah, I just wanted to shout out pretty costumes because they not only make me feel confident and beautiful, but they really complete the story for the audience. Secondary, I wanted to talk about my friends that my BFA program has brought me. They are what I am most thankful for this season, and I just can't even begin. I've talked about it before, but I just can't even begin to express my love and admiration and appreciation for the group of friends that I have. They are just so amazing, and they're supportive in my career and my performances, but also supportive in creative endeavors that I am scared to take. They're like, I'll help you with it, let's go. They're supportive in everything that I do, and it's just, and obviously I give them that support back, but it's that consistent support that I had really only ever dreamed of from a friend group. And like, they're not just fair weather friends, they're not just there when I'm successful, they're there when I'm not successful, when the art gets hard, when we don't, you know, when it gets difficult. And that constant support, and to get, like, it's just, I only dreamed of that growing up, you know, and the ability to just branch out and do that and have that unwavering support and know that that support is going to be there, that is the best thing that my BFA has given me. I'm only halfway through, but I do believe that this group of friends and this community is the best thing that my BFA is giving me. And I just feel so supported, and I can't even put it into words, my love and appreciation for them. But I did want to shout out the supportive dance friends I made in the department, not even just in the dance department, but like friends that extend out into the theater and MT departments that also dance with us. And, you know, it's just acting, and, you know, just all of these friends are so amazing. And I don't even have the words, like beyond spoken and written language is how thankful I am for them. But I did want to shout them out here on the podcast. So before I get sad, let's move on. Creative expression. I am so thankful that dance is a platform, not just for me, but for so many and their creative expression. You know, it's something that not everyone feels the need to have that. You know what I mean? You know, I'm thinking of my twin who's in a nursing program here at the college. She's going to be a nurse, and I'm really thinking that, you know, she's never really felt a need to be creatively seen or heard, or, you know, that's just not how she chooses to voice herself and express herself, which is fine. But like, for the people like me that are like, I need that creative outlet, that's how I speak, that's how I learn, I dance is a great creative outlet. And it's so, I talked about this in the ballet and the media episode, but like, everybody can dance. It does not matter if you're dancing in a studio, in a BFA program, in your living room. Like, dance can be your creative expression at any level, at any skill range, at any jumping off point. Like, you can start dancing and use it as creative expression. And I think that is just so beautiful and amazing. And that's just one of my favorite things about dance, is that so many people can be connected to it. And also so many people can add themselves into it, you know what I mean? Like, you know, my creative expression through dance is gonna look different than my roommate's creative expression through dance, than someone in Philadelphia's creative expression through dance. You know, it varies between people, and I think that is just so beautiful. And just the range of ways that dance helps and heals and helps people express themselves is just so beautiful. And I think that sometimes we do take it for granted. I think that sometimes when we're so focused on a performance, on a role, on an audition, you know, being the best in your program or whatever, I think that sometimes we lose the fact that dance is an artistic expression. Dance is who we are. Dance is how we're feeling, how our characters are feeling, how the audience is feeling, how we want to feel, how we want to be seen, or how we don't want to be seen. You know, dance is a great way to learn through all of those things. And as a form of creative expression, I think sometimes we lose that. And bringing attention to it now just reminds me how thankful I am for the fact that dance is in my life as a form of artistic expression. The next thing that I'm thankful for that dance has brought me as an air of constant learning, and this is something that I really only felt close to my chest when I joined my BFA program, but there's so many things to learn and grow and see, and I've branched out so much since coming to college. Like, the dancer that I came to Missouri State as is completely different than the one that's sitting at the table talking to you right now. You know, I've learned so much about how my body works, how my body operates, how ballet works, how ballet operates, you know, how it should and shouldn't be. And I'm meeting so many people that are pioneering change, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But the consistent learning, like, there's never a day when I'm here at Missouri State that I'm not learning something. And I know that sounds like an ad for the university, and I promise you that it's not. But I'm not sponsored by Missouri State University. But you know, there is really truly never a day where I'm in classes or at work or anything that I'm doing here in town that I'm not learning something, I'm not growing from something, you know, and making connections with your peers and your professors that are all in this creative field. You know, they invite you on to do things or help you with projects, and you're still consistently learning. Like, I'm in this tech lighting class right now, and I'm learning so much. And do I ever see myself behind a professional lighting board? No. But is it good to know? Yeah. Like, it's been interesting, and it's been fun to get my hands on the lights and do kind of like the, you know, nitty gritty things that build the shows that we love, you know, and that's been a really big learning thing for me. And that also leads into my voice training. I started really seriously voice training this semester. I took a vocal class. I'm in lessons. I want to shout out my voice teacher, Gabrielle. Hi, Gabrielle. I don't think you're listening to the podcast, but if somehow you find this, hi, I'm very, very thankful for you. This kind of branches out of dance, but I'm very thankful for the professors and the teachers that have really helped me grow into my singing voice. And that's just kind of like extended confidence to help me with my dancing, you know, because I'm seeing that I would like to take my dancing to a more theatrical route. You know, I still have that dream of, you know, being in a ballet company, and I'll probably audition around, you know, that's way in the future. But, you know, I would love to do some musical theater work, and that is, again, constant learning. I would have never known that about myself if I wasn't in this environment, if I didn't come here to learn and to grow and to love all the way through it. And I'm becoming so much more of a rounded person and a rounded dancer, and that just constant learning and information from all sources. I mean, I'm so thankful for the professors that we have here because they've done so many things. I'm thinking of my lighting professor who went to school in the UK and worked in New York, and I'm thinking of Sarah Wilcoxon, who studied in Paris, and Brittany, who studied in Egypt very recently. She's getting her PhD, and Azaria, who is showing us not only how to work for nonprofit, shout out No Box Dance, but also she's showing us how to elegantly balance being a professional working artist, a professional working woman, and a mother, and just so many amazing people to look up to that I'm so thankful that coming to this school has done for me. And if you asked 16-year-old Taylor what she thought her in-state college experience would look like, she'd be so pissed. She would be so pissed that she's in state. She'd be mad that she's here. But I think that that's something else I'm thankful for, the growth in my outlook on where I'm at in life. You know, I stressed so much about, well, if I stay in state, I'm not talented. If I get my BFA in Missouri, I'm not talented. It's like, that's literally so dumb. And that's the lie that they peddle to you. But, you know, you can get trained anywhere or nowhere. And if you have the passion and the drive and the, you know, hard work ethic, you'll get to where you want to go. And I'm so thankful not only for just the learning about myself as a dancer, but the learning about the world out there. You know, you are so, this is gonna be a hot take, but you are so much more than where you got your BFA. You are so much more than your BFA. You know, and that learning that I am more than just a BFA student. I am more than just a dancer. I'm a well-rounded person. But even in that, I'm learning so much in dance, and how I am growing as a person is how I am growing in dancing. You know, that they work hand in hand, you know. Lazy Ballerina Club on Instagram, shout out Goldie. She always says that you are not a dancer that's a human, you are a human that is a dancer. And I think learning that shift is also so big. And just the constant learning that I have has been impeccable. And I'm just so thankful that I'm in an environment that promotes such good, healthy, happy learning. And kind of going in hand to hand to that, my next point is I'm thankful for the time I've had to grow. You know, it's important that we give ourselves permission to thank ourselves and congratulate ourselves on growing. I've grown so much as a dancer, like we just talked about, but as a person, you know, I'm not so terribly high strung anymore. Not that I was not good when I was high strung, but it was just, I can notice how my fear of failure there was hindering my dancing and my life, really. And not to say that I don't still have all of that, but it's to say that, you know, I've grown a lot, and that fear of failure is still there, but it's significantly lessened than it was even just freshman year of college. You know, I'm growing and having that space and time to grow. And like, even like one of my friends showed me a picture of us like the first week of school freshman year, and I look at that girl and that's a completely different person. You know what I mean? That's a completely different girl. And that time to grow is something I'm so thankful for, because I feel like I can authentically be myself at any point in the world, and not even just in classes, but in auditions, in classes, in auditions, in interviews for jobs, in making new friends, traveling cities. You know, like, I just feel like I'm a brand new person. And obviously I'm still gonna be learning and growing. I'm only a sophomore, but even beyond my BFA, like, I feel like even the jump from freshman to sophomore year, I'm learning and growing so much, and having that time and space to grow is so important to me, and I'm so thankful for it. But I also wanted to thank myself in this section, because learning and growing doesn't come without a lot of hard work. You know, you really have to do that self-reflection. You really have to do that internal work to reap the external benefits and see the external benefits and put them to practice. And I think that I'm just thankful for myself that I took the time to do that. I am taking the time to acknowledge where I can grow and what I can do, and I am realizing that there are areas where I can still grow and still learn and better myself, but also I am here and this is me, and I'm learning to love my authentic self, and I'm learning to grow in my, you know, criticism of myself, you know, and that's something I'm thankful that I'm doing the work to do. You know, even something as silly as this is a shorter podcast episode this week, or, you know, you had a really bad turn day in class, like, not being so critical of the small things that don't really matter. You know, it doesn't matter that this week's podcast is going to be 40 minutes and last week's was an hour and a half. What matters is that you put your whole heart and soul into the podcast. You said what you wanted to say. You said what you wanted to say. You were your authentic self on camera over the audio. It doesn't matter if you had a bad turn day in class. You showed up. You worked hard. You did what you could to fix it. And some days are just off days. And the ability and time that I have taken to grow and develop that, not critical thinking, but ability to kind of shift my mindset, I'm so thankful to myself that I've given that. And also I'm thankful that I can thank myself and not feel weird about it, which is something that's so, I'm gonna open a can of worms with this one, but like, it's so ingrained in us as women that we need to, you know, we need to apologize. Sorry, but I had an idea. Sorry for interrupting. I had an idea. What if we maybe did this? But it's okay if we don't. we have to apologize for speaking up, and we have to be quiet, and we're expected to be quiet and nice. And Sarah's one of our professors. She always says to, women, stop apologizing. Like, oh, sorry, I had a question. Like, why are you sorry? You're taking time to learn and to grow, and then, you get someone who's kind of jumped that hurdle and is like, I don't have to apologize for speaking my mind. I don't have to apologize for speaking up in class or asking a question or clarifying something with the choreographer. Like, I don't have to apologize for any of this. And for some people that can come off cocky and arrogant and brash, but I think that if a man were to do that, he would be confident. He would be, I want to say like assertive, but in not like a kind of way, but he's assertive in like a way, he's charismatic, he's just trying to grow, and I think that my ability to be thankful for something that I have done for myself, I know, and I can kind of shift out every little voice in my head that, growing up, like, that's arrogance, or like, you're not short on confidence, are you? Why is confidence a bad thing for women? I feel like every single podcast I do, it just devolves into me discussing growing up in like the early 2000s and 2010s as like a woman, and deconstructing and everything, and I feel like it always comes down to this. However, thank yourself for something that you did for yourself this year. It is not arrogant to love yourself and thank yourself. It is not cocky to say that you look good, or I slayed my makeup today. Dude, there was some, if I have a photo, I'll insert it. There was some legit amazing makeup I did for house party. It was blue. It was super cool. It's not arrogant for me to be like, I slayed this makeup. I nailed that dance. I felt really confident doing that. Like, explaining how you feel is not arrogant. It's not cocky. It's not distasteful. We are just existing and loving ourselves and appreciating ourselves because we do so much. And my ability to grow into someone that fully believes that, like, with her heart and soul, that's been a really good thing. And I'm thankful for that, and I'm thankful for myself for putting in the work. Moving on. Perfect segue, makeup skills. Dance has given me a lot of great makeup skills, and I've always been interested in, this is so silly, but like, I've always been interested in makeup, and I think I would have gained these skills regardless. I love makeup YouTube, I love makeup TikTok, I love watching tutorials and following them. I think makeup is another great piece of creative expression, However, I think that dance required me to gain these makeup skills a lot faster. And it's just fun to be able to, come up with a look and know that you have at least some of the skills to execute it. And my confidence in makeup has grown since dancing. But there was a while where I had to have friends do fake eyelashes for me, but now I can do them for myself, and I do them for my friends or for the young dancers that I work with, if they have to go on a big stage, that whole thing. And it's one of the more superficial things that I'm thankful for, but it is something I'm thankful for, and I love using makeup as art, as expression to further a character, like I just said with the sparkly blue eye look for house party. The girl that showed up to house party, my character, it kind of took me putting on a persona to be able to like move and groove like that, and I remember being like, I want some colorful eyeshadow, and then I opened TikTok, and this girl was like, this is your sign to wear blue eyeshadow today, and it just clicked. I was like, yes, it is. It is my sign to wear blue eyeshadow today. So I did blue for a couple of the show nights, and seeing that really dramatic makeup that I wouldn't usually wear in real life, seeing that dramatic makeup with the costume and the jeans and the white shoes, like that really pulled it through for me. And I think like makeup is just so fun, and it's fun to do, and I like doing makeup on other people and myself. And I'm actually planning a makeup video, part of my Ballet Bound series coming up. I hope to film it tomorrow and get it up soon, but that's in the future. So that's a series on my YouTube channel where we do a makeup look based on a character I've played or would like to play, and we kind of talk about the show. We talk about my experience in the show or with the show if I haven't been in it. Very similar to Catherine Steele's character tutorials, if you've seen any of those, but where Catherine talks about the world of the show, I more talk about my experience with the show. But it lives and changes, and I love that. I'm thankful that artists can be inspired by other artists, and we can work and create together. But yes, I am planning a new episode of that. I really would like to get it filmed tomorrow, so that's my goal. But yeah, I've been doing a lot, and I'm really excited about it. And yeah, makeup skills are something that I'm thankful for, and it's just been a new avenue to be creative for me, and I really enjoy that. So next up, I have thankful for in dance, I have confidence boost. And this is, again, something that didn't really come till I got to my BFA, and the confidence boost that I have now that I see myself as a fully fledged person and not just a dancer, that confidence boost is crazy to me, and I'm so thankful that it's come around and I fully feel at home and safe and welcome in my skin, and I feel confident in how I dance and how I move and how I choreograph and my ideas. I feel like I'm finally confident that my choreographic ideas have value, that they're not too much. I remember I would choreograph pieces back home and they'd be like, oh, why are we using this many props? That's a lot. Or like, it's very theatrical. This is very dramatic. And I feel like now I have the confidence to lean into what makes me me, which is the drama, the theatrics, the performance, the storytelling. All of that really does make me me. And I feel like that confidence, especially as I lean into working on my spring dance adjudication piece, it's going to be very theatrical and dramatic. I'm literally going to put a fucking magic trick in there. You know what I mean? Like, it's a whole thing, and I'm excited about it. And there is a part of me that, I'm just thankful that I have that confidence now, because I don't think that I would be taking as many creative risks, as many opportunities. I don't think I would be doing it the same if I wasn't already on the track to gain that confidence. And I think if I didn't have this confidence, I wouldn't be growing and learning or doing anything really, and I think that that's a really big thing that I'm thankful for. And the overarching point of this episode is that I'm thankful for the BFA program that I'm in, and I'm thankful for the lifelong learning opportunities, growth, change, confidence, authenticity that it has given me, so that I can continue to learn, grow, become a professional, do the whole thing. So the confidence that it's given me, I'm super, super thankful for this season. And I have 2 more points to say, so this will be a shorter episode, but once again, not giving ourselves any trouble for it. We're being authentic, we're being confident here. I'm thankful that I've been able to see how dance changes lives. And it sounds so like, whoo, out of the box, way heady up here. But I've seen how people have been using dance to cope. We just had a really breathtaking duet in the fall dance concert by a pair of twins that are in the program here. And this beautiful dance they created was in response to processing a loss in their family. And they've been able to use this really beautiful piece of art to learn and grow and change. And that was really beautiful, and we've seen how we've used dance to process things that have happened in our past. I'm thinking of Jade's piece, West Monroe, last freshman year fall dance concert that I was understudying in. This dance was inspired by a really difficult experience in their lives, and Jade was able to help us connect to that, all while keeping themselves safe, which was really good. And that West Monroe was a really good way to kind of process through that and how it felt for Jade. So that was really amazing. And, I'm seeing how dance is changing the lives of my little kids that I teach. You know, my favorite thing at the end of class, especially, I do it with most of my kids, but especially with my littles, my like 3 to 5 year olds, we have little baby affirmations like, I am smart, I am strong, I am brave, I am kind. You know, little simple things that they can say about themselves, so that even at least once a week, they hear that about themselves and they are declaring that about themselves. And it made me smile because I had a little girl last week. I said, okay, before we get our stickers, we're gonna do our affirmations, and I have them like written on a whiteboard on the wall. And this little girl was like, can I say them this week? And like, it's so cute that like they feel safe and confident to do something as simple as leading our affirmations that week. And these kids that are excited to dance, and just like the way I was when I was their age. And it's just so beautiful to see their passion and focus and drive developing. But like, that really takes the cake. Like when one of my littlest kids was like, I want to lead the affirmations, like it was really sweet. And lastly, I want to close out the episode with talking about the slow but sure standards changing in dance. You know, we've kind of talked about this before on the podcast, but dance isn't necessarily known for being super inclusive, but slowly but surely we are seeing those standards change, and we are seeing the status quo be shifted, be altered, and our ability to see that, I think, is really important. And I'm thankful that we are making the strides to make the dance industry not only more inclusive, but safer. You know, there's a lot of trouble in the industry. There's a lot of, dare I say, predatory situations. There's a lot of vulnerability. There's a lot of power imbalance. And I think that as an industry, we're slowly making the strides to move away from that, and to hold people accountable for their actions, and to hold people not only accountable, but make sure that they get the serious and correct and fair repercussions of their actions. You know, we don't let them go just because they're talented, just because they're famous, just because they did this or they did that, because they have money. You know, I think that we are becoming a more fair and balanced industry. And yes, it's slow, and yes, it is way slower than I think that it should be, but it is happening. And this is not without the hard work of the industry workers. I want to shout out SAG-AFTRA and WGA. Without them consistently negotiating, consistently standing their ground, and standing what they believe in what they want for the future, for their careers, for the industry, how they want the entertainment industry to move on, how they want to be fairly compensated. They want their work to not be taken over by artificial intelligence. They would like, you know, their likenesses to be theirs. They want to own their work. You know, they want to be paid for the royalties on streaming services. There's so much more to it, and I'm looking into getting someone on the podcast to talk about it. But I'm always going to shout out the strike. But without the work of the people that are in it, not only in the professional industry, but in the higher education industry, like I see here with the lovely professors that we have, we are all fighting for change. And we're fighting for a more inclusive, a healthier, a more fair and just entertainment industry, because the world needs art, whether they see it that way or not. And the world cannot get the art that they need if the artists that are making it are not taken care of. And that is something that I'm so thankful for. And yes, it is slow, like I said. And yes, it's a good 50 years behind, but it is working, and we are putting in the work, and we are putting in the time and the heart and the soul and the passion. And I am thankful for everyone in my life, everyone in the industry, everyone in schools that are working to extend the passion that they have for the arts, to make it safer for the next generation. That's something that I hope to do with the kids that I teach, you know, making it safer, more healthy, making it happier for them to grow up in, so then they can continue the change. And I'm just so thankful that we are seeing that forward trajectory with the industry. And I know that I can, you know, walk into a professional audition, walk into a professional callback, you know, whatever I'm doing in the future, and I have the people trailblazing behind me for a safer industry, and I know that I am working with a focus and a passion to better the world around entertainment, and that is something I'm really, really thankful for in the people that are working with us. So yeah, shorter episode today, but yeah, I just wanted to get something out for Thanksgiving, and I was thinking a lot about this, some things that I'm thankful for in the industry. So I hope you had a lovely, lovely holiday. I believe when this goes up, I will be in New York City. So a couple weeks down the line, I plan to have a New York City episode. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I am incredibly thankful for you guys for listening to the podcast, for watching the YouTube videos, for doing the whole thing. I'm incredibly thankful for you guys for coming along on this journey. As always, you can follow the podcast on Instagram at BFA Baby Podcast, and you can follow me at Tata's Ballet on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Follow along for any informations, any fun things. And if you have any podcast recommendations, please leave them in the DMs. Also, please rate and review the podcast on Spotify. That really helps me get the podcast out there. And I'd love to see what you have, questions, comments, concerns, anything that I can better this podcast with. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am so thankful for you. And don't forget to tell someone that you're thankful for them this season. And thank you so much for tuning in. I'll stop rambling. Go eat a lot of turkey. Mwah.